Hello, I am Quinny. Welcome to the channel. In this video today, guys, we have a celebration to be had. SORARE has hit 100,000 users, and we're going to get stuck into what that means, what the implications are, where we think we see SORARE going in 2022, that and much, much more, guys. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, learn, you like something, whatever, please do me a massive favor. Smash that thumbs up button below. Leave a comment down below. What do you think SORARE is going to achieve throughout the year 2020? I want you to be weird, I want you to be wonderful, and I want you to be wacky with it. Stay out of trouble, and let's get stuck into it. This was very much welcome news for me. It's been there's been a wee bit of tension. There's been a wee bit of, oh, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen for the last 2 or 3 weeks or so? And it happened today. We finally broke the 100,000 users mark. And the statistic that signifies is the amount of people on the platform that have at least one card or more. My journey with SORARE started in the 20th of June 2020, at which time there was nowhere near 100,000 users. And in which time SORARE itself has smashed through milestones, blasted through objectives, broken records, and all sorts of different fields. Yes, recently there's a bit left to be desired in terms of progression and implementation of new iterations and that kind of thing, granted. But all the same, when you really zoom out and take a look at where we are and where the company's been over the last year and a half or so, the growth has been absolutely stellar. So back on the 20th of June 2020, I was user 1,137 when I joined the platform, and yeah, it's just been an incredible journey all the way through 2020. Just kind of getting to know the platform and seeing all the new licenses and such come on, you know, like Real Madrid, Liverpool, PSG, all these kind of guys happened around Christmas, winter time 2020 into January certainly, and a little bit of February. And then we had the NFT kind of boom kind of thing happened as well around that kind of March time when we see this first kind of big spike up. But really, guys, since that point onwards, for me, the growth in the platform has been motivated and driven by two things. Number one is the very unique and revolutionary play to earn angle that you get with this fantasy football competition that runs on NFTs. And the second one is just football interest and football intrigue, you know, where there's so many massive football fans all across the world who want to engage with their favorite teams and players, who want to own their favorite cards, have actual collectibles that mean something, and you have that ability to play them in a tournament or any sort of gaming arena and make the most of your air quotes investment, you know. And for me, this is where the biggest part of this growth comes. Now, for the latter part, from like December time through to now, I think a lot of this has been driven by the FIFA guys that have came on, like Channy Sports and the Penfizz and Flair, these kind of guys. I think a lot of this growth is down to them and them alone, to be honest, because they've got such massive audiences and there's so many crossovers with the Ultimate Team, with the FIFA platform. And that crossover was one of the first things that brought me to SORARE. Of course, I was involved in other alternative avenues like Football Index and Footstock, but that all originally stemmed from like Football Manager and Ultimate Team passions that I had and hotspots that I have for entertainment that came from those games, because the crossover is massive. If you're into those games, you will be into this. There's no two ways about it. It really becomes more of a question of cost, because especially when you get to rare level and above, the cost of the cards is huge, you know. But I really see SORARE over the coming year 2022 really establishing itself as a recognizable name to many football fans. Now, I'm always surprised at how low this number actually is in terms of the user base. Sure, we're at, you know, 100,000 for one card or more. For me, my favorite metric is looking at 5 cards or more and 10 cards or more. The reason for that is, as you'll know, if you hit the link in the description of this video, you'll get a free card for signing up. It's the only way anyone signs up, and if you don't do that, you're a card less off than everyone else. So if you haven't joined yet, link in the description down below. So you need 5 cards. You need to buy 5 cards to get that free card from the new auctions, okay? So people that will go and get 5 cards are people that are willing to pay to play, want to get some cards, want to get involved. And as soon as you get 5, of course, you get 6, you know, because you'll get your free one. So you get 6 for the price of 5 in essence. So going then from 6 to 10 isn't really that much of a jump, but it shows your intention and it shows progression in the game, that you're building out your squad, whether it be limited cards, rare cards, whatever it is. So those are the two numbers I look at the most, and even at those ones, to be basically averaging in around 50,000, around half of the registered users are active fantasy football game players as of today. Now, that's not to say the guys that are at 2 cards or 1 card or more won't get to that number, but it takes time, it takes money, it takes patience. And what's always an interesting dynamic is watching the speed of those metrics over the time period, you know. As we can see before this boom kind of period, if you like, where the chart really hockey sticks up, 5 cards or more was it, just call it 12,500, and 10 cards or more was, I say, just call it 7,500. Those two metrics have grown massively over the last month, especially in comparison to the 1 card or more. The 1 card or more is only really 4x'd over this time, whereas the 5 cards or more is more than 5x'd, and the 10 or more cards is more than 5x'd. So those rates of growth far outstrip the 1 card or more, even though that's the headline that we all look at, but it's that progression up into the actual competitions, winning cards, get stuck into the market is the metric I look at the most. So as we see those metrics really snowball and take up, you know, as we see the how quick people go from having 1 card to 2 cards, shows how engaging the gameplay is, how attractive the rewards are, and just basically how much people buy into the concept of owning the NFT, playing in digital fantasy football with global players from any team across the world that is licensed. And it is licensed, and it's going to make the biggest difference in 2022. It feels like the SPFL, the Scottish League, has been on the horizon for the last month or two, and there's now paper talk of them being in the bidding for the NFT license for the Premier League for the coming season onwards. So if these licenses are locked in, you know, before year end 2022, that 100,000 number is going to blow up. A lot of people talk about 1 million users, and I think that's the metric that could definitely achieve that by the end of this year, should those types of things happen. On top of that, with the rewards pool being finessed and ironed out, as well as some of the quality of life things that we want to see on the platform that we all believe, you know, John's very famous for talking about the social media aspect. It could become like a football kind of social media. They could have clips of videos and all that kind of thing. But for me, for the players, what I really see the future of the game being, and it really drives a lot of my core decision making, is I see by the end of this year, certainly we will be looking at the closest thing to fantasy football esports that you could possibly have. Esports is absolutely massive at the moment. It's absolutely blowing up. And when you look at trading cards and collector card games that have worldwide followings and active tournament competitions, similar to poker, you know, where it might be like Magic cards, Magic the Gathering, or Pokemon, or there's a bunch of different games that run that kind of same model, as well as the esports Ultimate Team, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, all these kind of paradigms. There's so many crossovers, and I mentioned that earlier with FIFA. SORARE touches so many buttons for so many gamers, collectors, football fans. All sorts of people have something to gain from playing this game in terms of enjoyment. And success in the game, of course, because of the play to earn angle, pays back. You know, so the time you're putting into your hobby, your pastime, isn't just a money suck, but it can potentially bring you some money back in as well. And for me, it really couldn't have came at a better time, this milestone, because we're now approaching game week 248, the convergence, as I've been calling it. All the leagues are back in action, MLS, J-League, K-League, all the European leagues as well. We've got some Brazilian, Argentinian, Mexican action as well. It's just pandemonium. It's a festival of football to be had. These are the teams, my first impression teams, before I do any serious analysis on prize pools and expected scores, that kind of thing. And I am absolutely buzzing to be getting all these guys in. I love winning prizes. I love getting up the competition leaderboards, and I love exposing myself to as much football as I possibly can and having a vested interest in it. And in previous life, I was a real serious gambler when it came to online football, in-play betting, obscure leagues, trying to look for odds that were misplaced, that kind of thing. And yeah, that's not a good way to go. The great thing about this is once you buy the card, you own it forever. You know, I've got these cards, these MLS ones that I picked up 2 seasons ago now. This will be the 3rd season that I've used this Chicharito and Zela Ryan. Same with the Matarita, but the 2nd season for the Grand Seer, 1st season for the Bond. I only just bought him. But, you know, it comes back and pays off in terms of the enjoyment and the engagement you get with football, the teams you like, the players you like and follow every single game week that you've got players active. You know, there's really nothing like it. And look how good some of these teams look, man. It's so fun. This is a real monster team. So when I started off on SORARE, we didn't have anywhere near the amount of licenses, you know, they currently have. And I thought to myself, right, I need to buy players that I would buy regardless of licensing restrictions. Imagine they had everyone. Who would I still get? Now, the core of this team that I'm showing you here, the Frankie de Jong, the Leon Goretzka, and the Ashraf Hakimi, were #1 picks in my best 5 in Europe at the time. Bear in mind, this is 2020. The goalkeeper would have been all black, and up front, I would have had either Lautaro Martinez, who I also have. I've just not put him in this lineup, so I've got Haaland. Can you blame me? So all black, and Lautaro Martinez, or Kramaric. And Kramaric is a wee bit more bargain basement, a wee bit older. I think if I did have money, no object, it would be all black. And I can buy an all black limited if I want. Of course I could. And then Lautaro in here over Haaland, but Haaland feels like an upgrade, doesn't he? And I love that ability to mix and match. And what I found as well when I kind of looked at all those players is, like, with the exception of like all black, if you can imagine him here, and Frankie de Jong both been in La Liga, but that would be now Hakimi's transferred. Hakimi's in the French league, Goretzka's in the German league, and then Lautaro would be in the Italian league. So that's a real mix match. It's players from all over the place, guys I like, guys I believe in, and they do score well. And that's what SORARE is all about, is that extra level of engagement, picking up a Daisen Maeda, a Rio Hatate when they're in Japan, and then they transfer to your favourite club. There's nothing like it. Over the last year and a half, going on 2 years, I've won 148 rewards, and you can see them all listed here. Some amazing guys from all across the world, all across Europe, in lots of different scarcities and lots of different colours. All these cards, I own them, so I can sell them, and by and large, I've done that. Or I can keep them, or I can trade them, I can do anything I want with them. They're NFTs, I own them. It's been an amazing ride so far over the first year and a half. Now that we've hit 100,000 users and we're staring down the barrel of 200,000, 500,000, a million, I just can't wait for the competitions to explode, for the prize pools to be realigned, all the licensing to be done and finished, and really see where SORARE is going to be over the year 2022. I just cannot wait. Look at all these rewards, guys. This is from fantasy football. Watching football I'd be watching anyway. That's a lot of cards, you know. I love every single one of them, and they've all helped me on my journey in terms of progressing through the game and making things count. And honestly, I cannot wait to see how much we win over 2022. It all starts with game week 248. We're in the house, we're live. I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow with the guys that do the SORARE Odyssey podcast. I'm going away to Spain for a week with Nellis, John Nellis, Hendo and Jack. And we're going to be taking in Valencia at home at the Mestalla. We're going to be going to Elche, they're at home at Barcelona. And then me and John Boy, we're flying into Manchester. Your boy Quinny's got all the hookups. We're going to Man City in the Champions League against Sporting Lisbon, hoping it's an absolute rout. On top of all that, guys, the channel is loaded, locked and loaded with content coming out of its ears for the next week or two. So please do stay tuned to the channel. If you have enjoyed the content today, please do subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 3,000 by the end of March. There'll be a big giveaway announced as well for the month of March, which I hope you'll get behind also. And yeah, guys, don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think is going to happen for SORARE over the year 2022? I want you to be weird, wacky and wonderful. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Terrible.